How many times a day do you pick up your phone? And are you able to leave your phone somewhere without feeling panic or anxiety? Or do you feel the need to have it beside you at all times and all costs? And is this affecting your ability to connect with others, be present, and get things done? Well, today I want to talk to you about, why is it that people get so attached to their phones? What you can do to do a tech detox and 10 great habits you can integrate into your life. And more importantly, I'm going to finish off with 5 steps of how you can integrate these new habits in a way that will create lasting change. Because I'm sure by now, tips, tricks, and just basic habit changing doesn't work. There needs to be a process that you can go through to create that change. So let's get started. So why is it that you go and grab your phone all the time? Well, one of the top reasons is the need for social connection. We are human beings, not human doings. We need to connect. And without that connection, we don't have that inner joy, happiness, and meaning in our life. Which brings me to the second reason why people tend to grab their phone. If you live a lifestyle where you're just going to work, going home, and you don't have meaning in your life, well, then there's no purpose. You don't have any intention around how you're spending your time. And so what that also does is it also creates a habit of avoiding uncomfortable emotions, avoiding maybe people, avoiding something you have to do because it just feels too much. And the more you avoid it, the bigger it gets, the more anxiety it creates, as opposed to getting it done. Your brain can then rewire to go, oh, that wasn't a big deal, I can do that again. Whereas if you avoid, the brain goes, avoid, do it again. And that's the cycle of anxiety and avoidance. And so what also happens is that people use it as a tool to manage triggers and flashbacks. So instead of having strategies and tools and support that you need to get through that, it's grab the phone, dissociate. And so it's not a healthy tool because then it just keeps you locked in that pattern. You're not actually dealing with the problem. The other thing that it does is that it affects your ability, or it stops you from being bored. Boredom creates creativity. If you're not bored, you have nothing to solve. If you're just distracted all the time with your phone in front of your face, creativity goes down. So keep that in mind and start to notice, well, why am I grabbing my phone? Those are like the top 6, but see if there's other reasons as well, because that will give you insight on what needs to be addressed and what needs to change. So that brings us to the 10 habits that you can do, picking ones that you feel will best fit those reasons as to why you're grabbing your phone. And so the first one, very popular one, is notifications. Beyond turning off all your notifications except for messages, think about which apps that you want to have on your phone. Do you really need them? Or can you just use your phone as a phone and use it for talking and texting? The next one is grayscale. I love this. When I was doing my research, I saw this and I was like, what? I can do that? Instead of just turning the light down or turning it into night mode, it actually turns your screen into black and white as if it's a newspaper, and it's so calming on the eyes and the brain. All the colors and flashy images actually contribute to phone addictions. So doing this on your computer as well is also a great strategy because it calms the brain down and it doesn't put it in a state of being overactive. The third one is out of sight and out of mind. Literally put your phone somewhere in your home as if it's a home phone. And then if you go out, put it in your bag. Put it somewhere so it's not right beside you and right in front of your face, so that you're not tempted to grab it every 2 seconds and you can actually be present with what you're doing. The next one is computer. Try to shift to using your computer for specific tasks instead of checking your email constantly on your phone. Put everything on the computer. Use your computer to kind of zone out that time. That's when you're going to be doing certain things. And then that way your phone becomes more of a phone than a catch-all. I literally don't have any apps on my phone except for like messaging. Never have email, never have social media, and my phone is just a phone. And that way my computer is for work and I can separate and create boundaries and then be more present with my day. The next one, number 5, is coping strategies. What are you doing to cope with stress, with maybe dealing with flashbacks, dealing with difficult situations in your life? What are your coping strategies that are healthy? And what can you consider integrating? So that's a very, very important one. The next one is community and support. It doesn't matter how many habits you change, how many coping strategies and resources you have. If you're not connecting with community and other human beings, none of that's really going to work. We need to be surrounded by others and we need to be connected to meaning and to have the right support, whether that's professional or with friends, family, and community. Number 7 kind of connects to that, and that is, what is your why? What is your life purpose? If you don't have meaning and purpose in your life, then you just kind of float through life, kind of going on a hamster wheel, day in, day out, on automatic pilot, and you're not really doing things with meaning. So if you don't have that meaning, you don't know it, and you're not clear on it, it's going to be hard. So definitely check out my videos on that help you find out what that meaning is for you. Number 8 is intentional. Be intentional with your time. Actually think to yourself, okay, what do I want to do now in the next half an hour? And focus on that. You can maybe even put a sticky note on your phone and saying, next 30 minutes, this is what I'm doing, so that you have that reminder. Or even doing a screensaver to remind you why you use your phone. Number 9, it's a little out there, but I don't have data on my phone. And you can get by without it. I've been getting by without it. I've never had data on my phone. There's always a way around things. Now, maybe there's certain stores or certain things that have no other option. Taking a screenshot of a scan QR code, that's what I do sometimes if I can't get around it. So test it out, see if you can do that. It's a great way to disconnect from your phone and just really use it as a phone. The last one is a really simple one. Get a watch. How often do you check your phone just to see the time and then get looped into looking at it and getting into that bad habit that you do with whatever it is you're looking at on your phone? So those are 10 habits that you can do to integrate into your life. They're random in a way. So let's bring some purpose to them. So using my 5-step process, the first step is always connect. So whether you're looking at what you want to do with your space, how you want to spend your time, or very specifically, how you want to engage with your phone. What's important to you around your phone use? What's important to you in your life? What are your values in life? And what is your life purpose? So taking some time to figure that out. And as I recommended in other videos, check out this one here because that will give you the premise to do it for your whole life. And then you can go ahead and do the same 5 steps for specific things like this. The other aspect of Connect is building anchors and accountability. What are your anchors during the day to ground you? What are your routines in the morning and the evening and throughout the day that keep you anchored and in the present moment, connected to yourself and in a place where you can respond to life and not react to life? What are those tools and strategies and routines that you do to stay in alignment? The other one is accountability. Who are you going to be accountable to? Again, we're human beings. If we are not accountable to someone, it doesn't work. Just being accountable to yourself doesn't work. Trust me, I've tried it, done the research, doesn't work. So have that mapped out, and then you can move on to step 2, which is create. What is it that you want to create in your life, and how is your phone getting in the way? So really take some time to look at how you want to spend your time, the activities that you want to be doing instead, the state of being that you want to be in. Do you want to be in a place of peace and calm and harmony? And what do you need to do to create that state? And think about, how have the challenges in your life brought you to a place where you can now use those challenges to connect with what you want to create in your life? What did you learn and what do you want to create with that? So definitely check out my anger video, because that talks about how you can transform anger into passion. And it's really like great exercise to do when you're looking at what your life purpose is and what you want to create in your life. So once you've got that ready, you can look at, okay, let's release and replace. What am I ready to let go of? And how am I going to do that? How am I going to know? So definitely do an inventory. Phones have great apps to track your screen time and see how are you spending your time and how often and how long are you spending your time on your phone. Once you have that information and you have that sense of your why, and you have that deep understanding of your patterns and your beliefs, now it's time to let go. It's time to let go of those beliefs, let go of those habits of grabbing your phone, and what do you want to replace it with? Which brings me to step 4, recalibrate and reorganize. Where are you going to set boundaries? How do you want to spend your time now that you have this clarity and you have this vision? Review your accountability plan, review your anchors, and re-Tetris everything now that you've removed all that time you've been spending on your phone. How are you going to reorganize it and refocus and recalibrate? And what is different now? Because maybe you had an idea of what you wanted to do before, but now that you have all this awareness, you're like, oh, no, I want to do even more than that. You've expanded your idea of what your vision is and your creation. Now that you have all that mapped out, it's time to get into a rhythm. So what does that mean? Well, what is your morning routine? What is your evening routine? And what are you going to do in the middle of the day? People talk about morning and evening routines. I like to have an anchor around lunchtime as well. So for me, it's my meals. My meals are my anchors. I have my morning routine that I have before I have my breakfast. I have my evening routine. And then I try to do like even a 5-minute meditation after lunch, just to reconnect and recalibrate. Because the more I'm present, the more I'm connected with my body and myself, the less likely I'm going to do things that pull me away from the present moment, like grabbing my phone, okay? And so it's also thinking about, well, how are you going to connect with others as well? What's your rhythm for connecting with others? And what's your rhythm for implementing your intentions that you have from the beginning of this process? So it takes time to do all of this. And I do recommend, doing a tech detox. I didn't mention that earlier. People do things in different ways. And I've mentioned this before about, you can change everything all at once, or you can do it bit by bit. Regardless of how you do this around your phone, I would definitely do even a mini detox. It's really important to see the contrast of what it's like without. That's where you're really going to gain the awareness. So doing a tech detox around the letting go phase, step 3, is a great place to integrate that, even if it's just for like 5 hours. You could try a whole weekend and do it where you're just doing emergency phone calls, and really just see what it feels like and notice what comes up when you want to grab your phone, but it's not there. So I hope this was helpful in giving you some different options around, what you can do and what habits you can integrate to change your phone use, and give you a deeper understanding of why it is you might be grabbing your phone, and an actual process that you can do step by step to integrate these habits and create meaningful change, not to do it just to do it, but to create meaningful change that will be lasting instead of just a quick fix and then you're back to those old habits. Thank you so much for watching, and please do subscribe and let me know if there's any topics that you would like me to cover. Take care, and until next time.